Christine Lee Silawan was a 16-year-old girl from Lapu-Lapu City. She was a member of the church ministry as a collector of donations from church-goers. In the evening of March 10, 2019, she asked permission from her mother if she could go to church. Her mother allowed her to go, thinking that she would return after an hour. She never did. The next day, a dead body, presumably a woman, was found in a field. The investigators initially failed to identify the corpse because of the way it was murdered. The NBI launched an intensive investigation which led to the arrest of a 17-year-old boy whose identity was kept in secret. CCTV footage showed that he was the last person seen to be with Silawan, consistent with the post-mortem examinations that Silawan was killed between 6 to 7 p.m. as her body was in the state of secondary flaccidity, which occurs 12 hours after rigor mortis. The authorities said that the boy and Silawan broke up a few days before the murder and added jealousy as a possible motive. However, the allegations against the suspect were baseless, according to the suspect's relatives, who claimed that he was found playing basketball with his friends and doing household chores on the day of her murder. Nearly a month later, Renato Renren Payupan Lienes voluntarily admitted his crime through an extrajudicial confession because he was haunted by his conscience. He confessed that he killed Silawan by stabbing her multiple times with scissors and that he skinned Silawan's face with the knowledge he gained through YouTube tutorials, and even cited Momo Challenge that lured children to commit several crimes and even self-harm as motivation. Lienes said that he used a fake Facebook account, CJ Dizon, to lure Silawan, posing as a teenage boy. The two kept in contact. When it was time to meet up for the first time on March 10 at the Sacred Heart of Jesus Parish Church grounds, he posed as the driver of her supposed Facebook chatmate to get Silawan to go with him. He said that their fight stemmed when Silawan learned that he was older than she expected and that he used a fake name to deceive the victim. He added that he was disappointed that Silawan had a history of sexual intercourse with her past boyfriend. Lienes said that he attempted to rape Silawan. He flayed the skin off her face so that she could not be identified, and he took the victim's bag and carried the skin and walked away. Police authority retrieved evidences linking Lienes to the crime, such as the bloodied scissors and his shirts with drops of blood. He was reportedly under the influence of illegal drugs when he committed the crime. PNP report says that there are no fresh lacerations on the genitalia that might indicate that she was raped, that it was done by someone very professional and meticulous, and that Silawan bore 30 stab wounds, 20 in the body, 9 in both arms, and 1 in the middle of her neck. The perpetrator also took out the anterior or front parts of her neck and extracted the trachea, tongue, esophagus, right neck muscle, and right ear. The one that maintains her head intact was her spine. All the cuts were very precise. The forensic examination conducted by the Public Attorney's Office, however, showed that 16-year-old Christine Lee Silawan was strangled, tied, raped, and her face scalded with acid. Dr. Erwin Erfe, PAO's forensic pathologist, said they examined her heads, hands, and genitals to determine if she had been raped. Forensic examiners used macro lenses to blow up the images of injuries. Erfe said they did not recover any seminal fluid, but the local crime laboratory collected samples during the first examination on Silawan's body. The fresh injury in her vagina were fresh, about 6 hours before she died. However, PNP said that their results were more credible since they were able to examine the body when it was more fresh, and that advanced post-mortem changes may destroy some trace evidence. According to the PNP, there was no rape nor fresh wound. There were two lacerations but no recent genital injury and no hematoma. Meanwhile, Erfe said the teenager was already dead when her facial skin was removed. He said there was a possibility that sulfuric acid was used. The dark brown and black burn marks on her facial muscles, gums, and eyeballs indicated acid burns. Their examination also showed animal and rodent bites. Erfe said an animal might have ripped out her tongue and esophagus when she was dumped in an open area in Barangay Bankal, Lapu-Lapu City. He said there were indications that Silawan was strangled with a rope. A right hand print was visible on her left side of her neck. Deep rope marks on her wrists also indicated that she was tied and she struggled to set herself free. At least 3 persons were involved in her killing, based on the wounds on her body, he said. DNA analysis was also performed on the clothes that were found. However, sources revealed no result. The first suspect of the case, Silawan's unnamed ex-boyfriend, was eventually released after the panel of prosecutors cleared him and indicted Lienes for the murder. DNA of Lienes and Silawan, on the other hand, were found on the seashore. Lienes' camp had tried to enter into a plea bargain agreement, wherein he would enter a guilty plea with the condition that the case will be downgraded to homicide instead of murder. The prosecution camp did not agree to the plea bargain, as Zaragoza said they are confident to claim a conviction with their evidence on hand. Lienes was found dead inside the comfort room of his detention cell at Lapu-Lapu City on Sunday, May 24.